10 for the Indians. Ennis going to drop back. Looks like he's going to run. Instead, he's hit, breaks that tackle. Eli Ennis trying to get it loose. He's across the 45, across midfield. Eli Ennis is inside the 35, on his feet to the 34, down near the 33-yard line before he was corralled by Dukes. And Ty Bell, let's take a look at the replay.
Just an athletic play. He rolls out right there. Should have been sacked right there. Right there, Grady. He should have been tackled right there, but athletic play. That's 2, that's 3. He cuts it back out. He tries to get a kick out block right there. Just an athletic play, man. Yeah. Kid has a big heart.
And down to the 5:33. Another Sparks Car Works 1st and 10. And here's Ennis again running it, cuts it back up, and he's going to have a nice gain down inside the 30, down near the 26-yard line for Eli Ennis.
Gets inside the 25-yard line.
Tackle was made by Ike Rowell. That's
about 8 yards on the play, 7 yards we'll call it.
Give him about 7, 2nd and 3 coming up as the Indians all of a sudden have something rolling.
Absolutely. I mean, that big play right there, like I said, you play for pride.
Second and 3 at the 5:26, by far the deepest penetration of the night for the Ohatchee offense.
Ohatchee scores here, you got a new ball game.
Here is Fuller, there goes Noah Fuller. He'll have his first down near the 20-yard line. There'll be another Sparks Car Works 1st and 10.
It's going to be good for 4 yards. And a first down, Ohatchee.
And this will be a classic 13 Tattoos red zone trip. Their first of the night for the Ohatchee Indians. Fuller going to get the toss sweep. Noah Fuller looking for a hole, finds one. Noah Fuller spins out of a couple of tackles before he is corralled by Dukes. But another nice gain on first down, and Dukes is slow to get up for the Fife Red Devils.
Yeah, timeout on the officials, timeout for an injured player.
And Dukes is able to get back to his feet. A little shaken up after that play. And I think he'll probably have to come out limping a little bit.
7 yards on the last play. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 3.
So another gain of 7, and suddenly Ohatchee's finding some chunks of yardage.
Absolutely, they are.
Here is Ennis looking over with Red Devil defense at the 13-yard line of Fife. Give it to Fuller again. Fuller turns it back into the middle and dives forward. They're saying the ball's on the ground, and Fife's coming out of there with it. What say the officials? They say he was down. The officials are looking to see about the game.
Right out the 2-yard line.
So he's going to be less than a yard, 3rd down here for the Indians.
Right, I think they may have lost the ball on that particular play right there.
It came out, but they said he was down. Yeah, Fife came out of the pile with it, but the officials have ruled Fuller down. Ennis, look over to the near side. Ready to snap this one, just needs inches on this one. And that's Noah Fuller over the pile. He'll have his first down. It'll be 1st and goal for the Ohatchee Indians.
First down, Ohatchee.
We give credit on the tackle to Ty Bell, but really he just leapt over the
2
pile.
minutes, 43 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter.
This has taken a lot of clock, this drive has, though.
You're right, but you definitely 2-down territory right here.
Yeah,
field goal's not going to do you any good.
1st and goal at the 9 now for the Indians. Here's Ennis, going to keep it himself, running left. There goes Eli Ennis, cuts it up inside the 5, down near the 3-yard line before he is taken down. Tackle is made there by number 70, Tucker Wilkes.
2nd down and goal to go from just inside the 3-yard line.
Wilkes and Fuller, the backfield battery mates. Eli Ennis run it wide to Fuller, trying to get the edge. Noah Fuller trying to go real wide, cuts it back up. But he's going to be down near the 1, and he'll bring up 3rd down and goal. Tackle is made by Hunter Gilliland.
They got good penetration. He didn't get there. Fife is doing a great job setting the edge.
Yeah, he was trying to get wide, and just never could get it wide enough.
1 minute, 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Third and a couple from the two. Eli Ennis lowers the shoulder, drop, not going to get there. Had him around the leg. And instantly that was Jacob Mitchell who had him wrapped up. So it brings up 4th and goal for the Indians.
You got to get some points out of this drive, though, Grady. You got to get some points if they want to have any kind of momentum going.
Well, it's inside the 2, and you got to come up with a play here. Let's see what Ohatchee will call. 4th and goal.
I think they need to run it wide.
Let's go wide!
Like they got the toss set up.
Here's Ennis going to run it wide. Eli Ennis setting it up. He's in! Touchdown, Indians! And they are back in the ball game.
You're back in it. You got to run it wide. You got to run it wide.
In the third quarter, putting the Indians on the board at 19-6. We're going to wait the point after.
And the extra points become very important, Coach, as we take a look at the replay.
Well, you got to run it wide. They're having no success up on the inside, so you got to run that thing wide like that.
For the hands of number 75, Brent Honecker.
Dives it in. What a nice drive. And I give Eli Ennis a lot of credit on that one, Coach. He made a lot of big plays on that drive to keep it alive.
He lowered his head. He had an instinct for the end zone. That's what you got to have right there.
Baswell will hold the kick by Honecker coming up, trying to make this a 12-point game. Snap is good. The kick is good. Ohatchee within 12 to set it in on NFHS.
35-19, Ohatchee 7.
Into the offices of J. Britt Middlebrook CPA, where you'll find professional one-on-one service for business and individual clients. In this ever-changing tax and economic climate, you can count on receiving the expert advice you need. J. Britt Middlebrook works hard to provide every client what they need to meet all deadlines. Tax season will be here soon. For all your accounting service needs, call or stop by at 1913 Berry Street in Oxford. That's J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA.
Welcome back to the Creek Bank, where the Indians have made a game of it with an outstanding drive to cut this lead to 12-5. Only 39 seconds left in the quarter. And it is another North Alabama Storm Shelters kickoff. Honecker going to kick a squib that will be fielded up near midfield by Fife. So the Red Devils will take over with great field position, 1st and 10.
2 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
So, 1st down and 10 here for the Red Devils. And now you got to figure out a way to get something going defensively. Pinson Valley all over Oxford tonight, 24-2. How about Sachs and Piedmont, Coach? That'll be who the winner of this one will face up in the winner of that one.
Sachs was leading them earlier.
Yeah, they were up 14-10 last we saw at halftime. Ike Rowell and company back to work here at the Red Devils. And Rowell will call his own number right up the middle, pops it across midfield into Ohatchee territory down near the 45-yard line for Ike Rowell. Give him about 6. Trey Pesnell and Enos on the stop that time.
Brings up 2nd down and 4 at the
2nd and 4 coming up here for Fife, and that will probably be the final play of the third quarter. The Red Devils are not going to be in any hurry. They lead it by 12 at the end of 3. It's FNN on NFHS. Back with the 4th quarter next.
Harrison Sports and Chiropractic, located in Anniston, Alabama, is dedicated to their patients. Car accidents, injuries, pain management, or even if you're just feeling the wear and tear of everyday life, Dr. Farr and Dr. Harrison can help. Call them today at 256-231-0417 or like them on Facebook. Walk-ins are welcome, most insurance accepted. Contact them today. That's 256-231-0417.
$12 minutes remain in the season for one of these teams. 12 minutes remain before advancing to the semifinals for the other. Back on the creek bank as Fife will open the fourth quarter with the football. They'll have a second down and 4 coming up from the Ohatchee 45-yard line. Indians got to find a way to get a stop on this drive and get that ball back somehow. But they're going to stay in this one.
Right, it's going to be an interesting 12 minutes here. Let's see who wins this thing in the fourth quarter.
Dukes alongside Rowell in the backfield for the Red Devils. Going to be Rowell calling his own number. Finds some running room, lowers the head, and he'll have a first down around the 40-yard line. Wyatt Reeves and Eli Enos combine on the stop.
They just staying patiently in the gap right there. He letting them big bodies get out in front of him, and when they see an opening, he'll take it in this.
Another Sparks Car Works first down for the Red Devils. Fourth quarter action presented by Riverside Fine Jewelry. Just over the bridge at 59 Horton Bend Road in Rainbow City, you'll find a wide array of fine jewelry and engagement rings along with jewelry and watch repair. Also appraisals, custom design, and laser engraving. Stop in today or visit them online or on Facebook and Instagram. Lowell at the quarterback position. Motion out of Gilliland, going to give it to him. Hitting the backfield, breaks the tackle. And Gilliland trying to get the corner, and he's going to be forced out of bounds across the boundary. That'll be Baswell who makes the stop over on the 5 sideline. Could have been a loss.
Absolutely. He hit him in the backfield, just didn't wrap him up. He had it diagnosed.
And 2 yards on the play brings up second down and 2.
Gains a couple, and thought he was out of bounds, but they're running the clock.
Yeah, I thought he went out of bounds also.
So I'm not sure why the clock is still running. But nobody seems to.
All right, Grady, you're losing that eagle eye now.
Well, he was up against the fence.
I know. It definitely looked like he went out of bounds.
Yeah, he was out of bounds. Second down and 8 for the Red Devils from the 38-yard line at you. Here's Rowell, going to call his own number again. And not going to find much this time. Good defense by Eli Enos and Wyatt Reeves once again. That's a gain of a couple to the 36. Bring up third down and call it.
Brings up third down.
6 to go.
From the Ohatchee 37-yard line.
I think this is a big play for Fife right here. You know, I definitely believe they're in 2-down territory. They're going to go for it regardless.
36.
And I bet they run it. Taking all the time they can off of this clock are the Red Devils.
Let's go now!
Ohatchee looking for a big play defensively. Here's Ike Rowell. Rowell's going to fake it to Gilliland. Looks to put it up. He drops back. He's got time. He's got nobody. Now he's going to tuck it, and he's got an open field. Ike Rowell is going to be inside the 15-yard line. First and 10 for the Fife Red Devils, and it is another classic 13 tattoos red zone trip, and a Sparks Car Works first down. Let's take a look at the replay.
Well, I could see it coming, Grady. What he did was drop back, I mean, and I may be wrong, but he was going to run this all along. Once he seen this side right here open, he was going to take that side because he knew that they had ran the receivers off right there.
31 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
Marking at the 16. First down and 10 for the Red Devils.
And a lot of times that's a quarterback, a draw, but it's really not a draw, you know. I'm sure the coach told him if you don't immediately see one of your options open, run it, you know, take it and run it.
And he's going to run it again. There goes Rowell. Lowers the head, and he will have it down inside the 15-yard line. As I think Reeves gets it again.
Making the stop for the Indians. 4 yards on the play, brings up second down and
I'll tell you something about this Eagle offense, though, Grady. When you run this offense, you definitely got to have a tough quarterback.
Yeah, you have to have a quarterback with a linebacker mentality. Now Piedmont has reclaimed the lead. They lead sacks 17-14.
You have to have a tough quarterback. He and Enos, both of them play quarterback and both of them safeties.
Here's Rowell. He's going to call his own number again. Dances up the middle, pops it out of there. Rowell. And he's going to be down inside the 10. Pesnell will make the stop.
Number 6, Trey Pesnell.
And that will bring up third down coming up for the Red Devils. Third and about a yard, it looks like.
It's going to be third down and 1 to go from the 7-yard line.
Got it down at the Ohatchee 7 now.
And I think what you have to see with Fife now, they hadn't had much success wide of them. I think you have to see off tackle. They jumped offside.
And that'll be an easy first down as that's the third time they've got Ohatchee to jump when they do that shift.
And a flag on the field.
Stanley with the offside signal against Ohatchee. First and goal now for the Red Devils.
It'll be first down and goal to go from inside the 4-yard line.
Fife have more success off tackle. They'll start wide, but they'll kick out and turn it up.
And I don't think you're going to see anybody but number 4 carry the ball. Ike Rowell, quarterback for the Red Devils. Looking over the defense, first and goal at the 4. Here's Rowell. Following his blockers, cuts it up, and second effort still going to be stopped short. As the tackle made that time for Ohatchee. That's number 63, Gregory King. Second and goal for the Red Devils. And another thing to remember, Coach, the clock is ticking away, 7:25 to go.
Well, they're going to run it down inside probably 5 to 6 seconds before they snap.
Yeah.
Which is smart. I mean, you got the ball there and you're up 19-7, so,
Here is Fife. Second and goal. There goes Rowell, lowers the head. He is in. Touchdown, the Red Devils. And they've stretched the lead back.
6:56 to go in the fourth quarter. It's
out to 18
as we await the point after.
And now clock down to 6:56 to go on that score. And a 25-7 lead here for the Red Devils. Brody Dalton will be on to attempt the extra point. Coach, just hard to stop. St. Paul's leads Central Clay County 20-0. Here's the snap, there's the kick, end over end, and that is good. 26-7, Fife leads it, FNN on NFHS.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit debit card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at F&M Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Back on the creek bank, and the home crowd not real happy. The visitors across the way from Fife very happy as the Red Devils roll on. Now they lead it back by 19 once again, and it'll be another kickoff upcoming. And of course, that is another North Alabama Storm Shelters kickoff coming up from Brody Dalton and the Red Devils.
Let's go, Red!
And Dalton will kick a short kind of pooch kick this time, as Baswell will field it and goes down in the process. So Hatchie will have it, but only 6:55 to go and needing 3 scores.
That's a tough task to do against Fife Red Devils.
It is indeed. Fourth quarter action presented by Riverside Fine Jewelry just over the bridge at 59 Horton Bend Road in Rainbow City. You'll find a wide array of fine jewelry and engagement rings, along with jewelry and watch repair services, appraisals, custom design, and laser engraving. Stop in today or visit them online on Facebook and Instagram. First and 10 for the Indians. Here is Enos. He's going to roll out. He's got pressure. He's going to fire it over the middle. Tipped and knocked away. Might have had Fuller as it was knocked away by Trey Pesnell.
He did. He had two guys in the same area, and I don't think they didn't know which one it actually was. But had two receivers within 5 yards of each other, and that's normally somebody didn't run the route right.
Brings up a 2nd down and 10 for the Indians. Stops the clock with 6:47 remaining in the ball game.
Well, he's doing what he got to do, though, Grady. He's putting that thing in there right now. And that's what you got to do. I mean, you got to try to save clock, and the only way you can save clock is first downs and passes.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do the long, deliberate drive here. Eli Enos going to call his own another wide, near boundary. Across the 35, out across the 36-yard line, forced out of bounds here on the near side. And that'll be about a yard shy of his first down, I believe. And they're going to say that is enough for a first down. They mark him up at the 37-yard line, so that is another Sparks Car Works 1st and 10 for the Indians. And it stops the clock with the out-of-bounds play.
Absolutely.
At least this time it stops the clock with the out-of-bounds play. Here's Eli Enos, handed off. Noah Fuller right up the middle. Fuller is going to be spun around and dropped. Tackle was laid down by Brody Dalton.
4 yards on the play. Clock continues to roll inside of 6.5 minutes. Brings up 2nd down and 6 to go.
Just not getting much up the middle, man.
They hadn't been there all night. Hard team to run the ball up the middle of.
They got that man-child in the middle.
Yes, they do. They are big and strong.
Caleb Live, 300 is 300 is 300.
Here is Fuller with stiff arms and breaks the tackle and rolls up to about the 45-yard line. He'll be ridden out of bounds right there. And as far as we know, that'll stop the clock. Tackle is made there by Hunter Gilliland.
Number 3, Hunter Gilliland.
And it came out of his shoe.
For the Red Devils. Also number 4,
Brings up a 3rd and 3 for the Indians at their own 44-yard line. Enos going to try the corner again. Looking to get wide, Eli Enos, and he's going to be hit right at the 45-yard line. Gets to about the 46, Justin Stiefel on the stop. And that's going to be about a yard shy of the first down, 4th down here for Ohatchee.
Yeah, you got to go for it.
Yeah. Might not see the ball again. Fourth and a yard from the Indian 46. Going to run it right up the middle, and Enos is going to have it. Lowers the head and gets it to midfield. The stop is made. Gilliland up off the bottom of the pile there. Ryle hit him, and a host of Red Devils.
First down, Ohatchee.
Brady, you talking about a war in the trenches? Boy, it is a war in the trenches.
Indeed, it has been all night. Very physical football game.
Absolutely. There's going to be some sore bodies in the morning.
No doubt.
Let's go, Red!
Here's Eli Enos, Noah Fuller. Fuller going to come wide. He'll get the toss right. Fuller look at the room, lowers the head, and he'll have it inside the 40, inside midfield down to about the 48-yard line. Dalton and also Dukes making the stop there for the Red Devils.
For Ike Rowell, the first one there, also in on the tackle, number 26, Dukes. 1 of 2 on the play, brings up 2nd down and 8, 3:51 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Second down and 8 for Ohatchee. Enos is going to roll. He's got pressure coming. Enos shreds a tackle, fires it down the field, and incomplete.
Yeah, this is pass.
He's trying to go to Noah Fuller and couldn't get it there.
Right, it almost got picked. Got a hand on it.
3:34 to go in the 4th quarter. Brings up 3rd down and 8 for the Indians.
So that'll bring up a 3rd and 8. Clock stops with 3:34 to go here in the ball game. Ohatchee with 3 timeouts, Fife with 2, though I don't think Fife's looking to burn any more timeouts. Leading it 26-7.
Let's go!
Ohatchee with 2 down territory, obviously. And we'll see what the Indians can dial up. Play clock is running down. They may have to burn a timeout here, Coach, and they will. Did not get the play in, so timeout on the field. We'll take it as well. It's FNN on NFHS.
Timeout on the field. Timeout, Ohatchee.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Back here on the creek bank at Ohatchee High School, it has been another powerful performance by the Fife Red Devils, but an impressive performance by the Indians as well, Coach, as they have hung in here a whole lot more so than anybody else has against this team.
That's right. They came to play now. There's no lay down in them. I mean, they put the work uniform on, and they came out to handle business.
They're on the short end of the score right now, and time is running out for the Indians. Only 3:34 to go in the game, and down by 19. They've got to have a lot happen in a hurry to have a chance at all of coming back to this one. And not a lot of chance at this point.
As I used to say, it's not impossible, but highly improbable.
Highly improbable. They're going to empty it out. Going to send Fuller out to the left side this time, will the Indians. Simpson in the slot now. Going to fire it out in the little jet stream and bounces it over there, incomplete. Had pressure coming off that right side of the defensive line.
Right, he short hopped it over there to him. They had a double pass, what they were trying to do, but they still didn't. I don't think the receiver out there got deep enough, but I'm pretty sure that's what they was trying to do, a double pass.
48-yard line.
So it brings up 4th down and 8 for the Indians. Last gasp effort here offensively for Ohatchee.
If they don't get a first down here, that's definitely going to seal the deal.
Yeah. Taking a lot of time for the play, and they may have to take another timeout, and they will. So Ohatchee will burn their second timeout of the half. With 3:31 remaining, Fife in control, FNN on NFHS.
Gotta have a ring first. Remember, she has to say yes to the ring before she says yes to the dress. Riverside just makes it better.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
And the halfback pass on 4th down, and I think he may be short. They got it out to Eli Enos. Just short of the first down. Fife will take over with 3:20 to go. They tried, Coach.
Yeah, he almost fumbled that play right there. If you look right there, he almost fumbled it right there, and he recovered.
And it was just a yard short. Gilliland made the stop, and actually it was a couple of yards short. So 1st and 10 now for the Fife Red Devils. 3:20 to go in the game, and the Red Devils are going to be advancing on to the semifinals coming up next week. Piedmont at last look was leading sacks. They've come back and have reclaimed the lead, and we're out, I think, 24-14 or so. So it looks like a Fife and Piedmont matchup next Friday night. Fife one man short offensively, and now the Red Devils will have to take the timeout. They will burn it. With 3:20 remaining in the game, it's FNN on NFHS.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
Welcome back here to the Creek Bank. Fife had to burn the timeout, didn't have enough players on the field, so Coach Minifield and the staff elected to not back up any, so they burned the timeout. Fife will have it now, 3:20 to go. And the Red Devils are just going to look to run clock.
That's all they're going to run it and probably snap the ball inside 5 seconds, and that's all they're going to do.
And try to pick up a first down or so, and that will salt the game away.
Right, a couple of first downs, and it's over with.
Rowell's going to run it, just dances up the middle, and he will be hit as he comes through the middle of the field there. That is Wyatt Reeves. You can always tell when Wyatt Reeves makes a stop. It's emphatic.
That's right.
He hits you hard.
I mean, extremely hard.
Gain of a couple, second down.
I like Reed. He got the big knee brace on and uniform dirty, and he one of them guys that probably have a little blood dripping out the side of his mouth. Just a tough football player.
Yeah. This will announce the semifinal matchup. It will be coming up tomorrow. Of course, it'll be the next Friday night, the day after Thanksgiving. Here is Gilliland now. They'll make that Rowell still in the quarterback. Gilliland alongside, and Rowell's going to run it again. He's going to bounce it outside, and he's just looking to run the clock. Spins now.
Taking down by number 3, Noah Fuller at the
Fuller will make the stop.
Gain of a yard on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 7 to go.
It'll be 3rd and 7 now coming up here
15 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter.
The Red Devils, and Coach, he just kind of pulled up and hung out and just looked to get down over there.
He did. He's going to run it. They're going to run it on the minute. If they don't get a first down here, they'll punt it and they'll finish on defense.
I was surprised, a little bit surprised that he didn't go ahead and try to get the first down.
I thought he would, too. I absolutely thought he would. He kind of pulled up a little early.
Yeah. So 3rd and 7. 7 on the play clock.
Let's go, D!
Here's Rowell. Going to bounce it and looking to run wide, and he's just running clock. And he's just going to fall to the ground. And he'll be able to run this thing down inside a minute before they punt it away. Well, Coach, we've heard about Fife and heard about Fife and heard about Fife, and everything we heard about Fife was true.
What you heard was true. I mean, they are a well-oiled machine.
They indeed are, and they look poised to definitely be a threat to win another state championship. Of course, they'll have a tough matchup next week.
That's right. They got the 3A man.
That's right. Piedmont will be next in line if that score holds against Sachs. There's a high snap. Stifle gets it out of there. Had some pressure, and it's a good kick. It's going to hit and roll dead. That's a 23-yard line or so with 43.5 seconds left for Ohatchee in the 2020 season. It was a great season for the Indians, no question about that.
That's right. You can't, I mean, you lost to the, what? Webbing was number what?
2 or so in the state then, and now you lose to number 1, Fife.
Yeah. You can't, and you beat the number 3 team, I guess we got number 4 team, which is Piedmont. So, I mean, I think the rankings won't change much in the final.
No, I don't think so.
Among those guys, I mean, had nothing to hold their head down on.
Absolutely not. Just going to run it up the middle with Aiden Simpson.
Number 40, Aiden Simpson on the carry.
And that may be the final play of this one.
3 yards on the play.
We'll see if Ohatchee chooses to run another play or not. Clock is down inside 30 to go with 25 seconds now. The Indians perhaps will snap it one more time. And they will run it with Simpson right up the middle another time, and that should be the final play of the ball game. Fife rolls into the Creek Bank, and they're going to roll out to the semifinals. They win it tonight over Ohatchee. We're back to wrap it up. Coming up, it's FNN on NFHS.
And welcome in to the 2020 high school football nominees selection show here on the day after Christmas. I'm Jim Jacobs. To my immediate left, of course, the play-by-play voice of the Friday Night Network, Grady Sapp, and happy holidays, bud.
Thank you. Hope you have had a Merry Christmas and are enjoying a little much-deserved downtime during this time of year.
I can see you have.
Absolutely. I came straight from the golf course today. What can I say?
That's you know, you come walking in and I'm like, well, were you going to dress up or something? And he's like, no.
I came from the golf course to do the show. That should be enough, right?
There you go. Well, let's get to the business at hand. Of course, we're kind of kidding around here, but you know, this has really become first of all, a very special thing for us, and secondly, a real honor for the 8 nominees that will be named here tonight.
It really has, as we started doing this way and putting it together where it's voted on and things are tallied together after a season. And you know what, Jim, it might be a little more special this year just because it is 2020, and of all the things that have had to be dealt with and all throughout, which we'll be talking about that, of course, obviously with COVID-19, but it's become a very special honor and an award, and heck, it might be a little more special even than it's ever been this year.
Boy, I'm telling you, because all you have to do is think back to media days at the end of July when we gathered over at the Anniston Country Club, just a half mile or so from where we sit tonight. And you know, Grady, I just sat through that entire process thinking, what are we doing this for? Because I just did not have any hope at all that we'd get a season in with what was going down at the time. And by gosh, you know, with some good leadership, some great coaches, some school system administrators, and some players, you know, anytime you can get 15, 16, 17-year-old kids to listen for 2 or 3 months in a row, You've done a woman's job.
Yeah, you really have. And you know, I was there with you at the Talladega County Media Days, and the general consensus when we were there was 4 weeks would be outstanding. And nobody really expected it to go more than the first 4 weeks of the season. And here we sit tonight, and we're going to recap a full run of high school football that they played all the weeks. They got 15 full weeks of playing in, and we crowned state champions in every classification, and it really is hats off to everybody involved that made this happen. And you know, I think, Jim, heck, they may have done it a little better than any other level of sport has done it to this point.
I think so, Grady. I think it's very fair to say that, you know, you take away the limited number of fans, and other than a few, you know, forfeits that had to take place during the season, we had a pretty normal year.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, normal from that standpoint. Obviously for us, it was a little strange when you'd go to these stadiums and they wouldn't be packed, but you know what? The crowds were still good, and it was still a great atmosphere, and it was still high school football. Even at that reduced rate, it was still high school football at its best. And I think everyone really enjoyed it, and we're really excited the fact that it actually got to happen.
Absolutely. And of course, you know, we couldn't do some of the things that we normally like to do at a game. You didn't see us out with the officials at coin toss, you know, with the wireless camera, and we didn't have a sideline person this year. And, you know, some of those things that hopefully we'll be able to get back to in 2021. But, you know, other than that, I think the games themselves kind of, we were kind of feast or famine this year. I mean, we had some great games, but we also suffered through some blowouts.
Obviously, yeah, we had some of the worst ones that we've had in terms of blowouts. But, you know, we started on the hill at Welborn and Anniston to open the season. And, you know, for all of us, that was an opening night that had a lot more, I don't know, anxiousness and curiosity and all those kind of things combined when we showed up at one of our favorite places to go, from the tradition and the facilities and everything. But, you know, the crowd was good. I remember pulling up there going, I think the parking lot's harder to park in than it normally is right now. And we got there and the crowd was into it, and we had a good football game with Welborn and Anniston, and really it got our season off with really good momentum. And you know what? We never really looked back.
And you know, Grady, that was such a great game from a standpoint that you had a couple of schools with a lot of tradition, just a couple of miles apart, really, getting together for the first time in, what was it, 19 years, something like that.
It was a long time.
A long time, and they're going to play a series now. Next year, Welborn will come over here to Lot Mosby, and we may be there when week one starts. You just don't know. But it was a great football game. Anniston kind of struggled a little bit offensively, if memory serves correct, and you know, Welborn kind of shot themselves in the foot a bunch of times with some uncharacteristic penalties. And boy, we saw a preview of what we were going to see the first at least half the season. People just laying the ball on the ground all over the place.
And you know, that was a product of the whole thing of dealing with COVID-19. You didn't have spring ball. You had limited time together over the summer, and you had limitations in fall practice. And it really stood out, I thought, on that side of the ball very much so, in the fact that you see teams that are normally just sharp and crisp, and they don't make those kind of mistakes. They made those kind of mistakes this year, at least in that first half or almost half of the season.
But boy, business picked up quick in week 3, didn't it, when we went and made our first of 3 visits to Ohatchee this year.
Yeah, well, over to the Creek Bank, and what a matchup we had. Of course, that was 3A region play, and that region was as tough as any, or probably the toughest in the state, Region 5. Welborn and Ohatchee, and it was another classic on the Creek Bank. How many of those have we had at that stadium? I mean, this one goes to overtime. Couldn't settle it in the first regulation. It goes to overtime. Welborn, with a goal line stand, wins it in the first overtime after they scored first. That was a heck of a football game, and I think maybe it was one of the 2 or 3 standout games that we had in the season.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. And you know, anytime you go to Ohatchee, you're gonna see the Creek Bank crazies along the fence, and you're gonna have a really vocal crowd, and it's really loud for us because of where we wind up doing the game from, right down there in the front, right around the 40-yard line on that platform, right in front of all the fans, and it's a really neat place to go. And boy, that was a classic defensive football game, which was a little bit surprising.
Yeah, you don't see as much of the old traditional head-knocking defensive football games, but that was one. That also might have been the hardest hitting football game, or certainly in the top 2 or 3 that we had all season. And it was a great game to call. And you know what? When we go to a stadium, we're at whatever stadium we go to, whatever 2 teams we're covering, all we really want is a really good football game, because it makes what we do a lot of fun when the game is good, and that one certainly made that a fun night for us.
You know, we made our first FNN trip up to Cherokee County, to Johnson Field there, and it was on a Thursday night, and we got our first look at Cherokee County and Handley playing one another. But well, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself here. The Thursday night game was at Montford.
Yes.
We went down to Montford on a Thursday night when both of those teams, I think, came into that game pretty much tied for the top of the region, and it was a big night for Montford and for Cherokee County. But we got a look, Grady, early on at a young man who was thrust into a situation that he didn't expect to be in. The young quarterback for the Warriors had to step in after Slade Alexander went down with an injury, and boy, did he thrill us on the first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, 80-plus yards on first down, and I think they'd gotten a 5-yard penalty, so make that 1st and 15 and an 85-yard pass or so right there, right over the middle, hit the receiver in stride, and he was off to the races. And I'm thinking, you're a freshman quarterback, you're on the road. It can't start any better than that for you. And,
it's downhill from here, right?
Absolutely. That young man absolutely performed really fantastic for the Warriors, stepping into that role. And, of course, Slade Alexander, I believe, is signed with Jacksonville State, so he's going to continue his career. So that was a great football game. And we really saw that night the thing that plagued Montford and ultimately cost the Lions the ability to get in the playoffs, and that was the ability to finish in the red zone. They had a number of opportunities that night and came away with no points, and ultimately Cherokee County wins it, stayed up on top of the region, and of course set up that matchup that you're talking about the next week with the Handley Tigers.
And that was our first trip up to center for the game of the week. And it started out good, Grady, good first half for really both teams. But boy, in the second half, Handley just stepped on the gas, didn't they?
They absolutely did. I mean, Tay Meadows in the running game was extremely impressive. The young man that's the tight end and the big stud for Handley was really impressive. Dylan Brooks was impressive that night. And, we left there that night thinking, this is a team, this Handley team is certainly a team that can win the whole thing. And remember, that game, I think for Handley, was either their third or their fourth game, only the third or fourth game that they got to play, because they'd had so many cancellations with COVID and forfeits and things that they hadn't played much football at that point.
And they came to center that night, Grady, and I did not learn this until after the ball game when I had a chance to speak to Coach Strain. They came to center without 5 or 6 starters that were in quarantine and still managed to put up a very impressive showing against the home team Warriors.
So we put them down as one of the most impressive teams that we saw during the course of the season, and certainly going on through the playoffs and winning the state championship in Class 4A. They're second in the last few years. That didn't do anything to change our opinion of the Tigers.
Absolutely. Of course, we knew that the odds were pretty good we'd see Wellborn and Piedmont again this year, and we did.
We did. It was another, through the scheduling and the classification changes, it was another quirk that brought Piedmont back to the hill for the second consecutive season. Of course, last year, Wellborn was able to win a thriller there on the hill over the Bulldogs, and we had another outstanding high school football game. This time, though, the Bulldogs got the revenge, and it was a late drive. I think they scored the winning touchdown with 16 seconds or so left in the game. And I thought one interesting fact that came out of that, Jim, was, of course, Jet Smith, the outstanding quarterback and linebacker for the Wellborn Panthers. Coach Smith from Piedmont, Coach Steve Smith, told us the final drive they were designing plays to make Smith run from one side of the field to the other and see if they could tire him out because he was everywhere.
Yeah.
And they did it to perfection.
Well, Jet Smith has played his last game now in the black and white for Walter Wellborn, but he's certainly had a storied career, and the young man finished, I think, number 2 in the state all-time with tackles.
Yes, he had an outstanding career, and of course.
But Grady, how big was that win for Piedmont?
It was huge.
Because it basically broke a 3-way tie at the top of the region with them and Ohatchee and Wellborn, and it basically put them on what we saw as the easier side of the bracket, going into playoffs in that 3A on the north side. And while the other two had to go face Mighty Fife.
Right, they were going to get Fife in the second and third rounds, whereas Piedmont, it would be all the way into the semifinals. And it was, I'm not going to say it was an easy path, but it was a much easier path than the other side of the bracket. And huge win for Piedmont. Elijah Johnson went around in on that play. And we were a little surprised in that game that they called a running play, but it worked to perfection. It got around the end. They had some timeouts, and they were down close and pulled it off. And another mark of a Piedmont team that we talk about all the time, that if they're playing the ball game, they absolutely think they're going to win. They're going to find a way to win, and doggone if they don't, more times than not.
Well, I think I vividly remember reaching over and hitting the comm button into your ear when Piedmont got the ball that last time and saying they gave them too much time.
Too much time. You don't.
Sure enough, Jack Hayes, what an incredible football player. I mean, the names for Piedmont just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
You got Jack Hayes, you got Austin Estes that was big in that drive.
Yeah.
Of course, Sean Smith, who's now going to be a senior and graduate big. The run by Hayes tiptoeing down the sideline, and then of course Johnson over the left side getting Piedmont the win. But some incredible football games, and then of course we got into the playoffs, Grady, and got a look at two young men at Jacksonville in the first round that were very impressive. We knew about Peanut Adams.
Yes.
We'd heard about him, but boy, he showed out when they needed him most. Jackson made a crucial end of the game mistake and call there with the safety, and Adams made him pay. And then we talk about the young quarterback, Mr. Ogle. I mean, we're going to be talking about him a couple more years. And in fact, he might be one of the young men that we wind up seeing as a nominee for Player of the Year before his time at Jacksonville ends.
Absolutely. I think he was a freshman this year, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
And he is going to be something special. He was pretty special this year. Great arm on that kid. Can really sling the pigskin around. And of course, Samarian Adams, Peanut. You know, you talked about that. Taking the safety, they had to do the free kick, and I think they ended up getting a penalty on the first time they attempted it, and then they go back and move it back 5 more yards, and then they kick it to Adams, and it was catch the football, come to the middle of the field, one cut, and tone to the house. And that's ball game.
Yep.
10 points in the span of just under a minute, just a few seconds for Jacksonville to pull out the thrill in round one.
Really entertaining football game.
Great first round football game.
Well, there you have it. That's just kind of a quick recap of what our season's been like, but you're not here for that. You're here for something much more important. The nominees for this year's Coach of the Year and Player of the Year. Of course, over my right shoulder here is our 2-time Player of the Year winner, Mr. Wiggins, who's now playing at Jacksonville State, Ron Wiggins. And over Grady's left shoulder, our Coach of the Year, the first man to win it 2 times, Keith Etheridge from last year with Oxford's big state championship run to get him Coach of the Year honors. Will Keith be one of the nominees again this year?
Well, we're about to tell you those exact facts when we come back.
That's straight ahead when the nominee special continues. Cofield Asphalt Refinishing is Northeast Alabama's go-to source for exterior parking lot maintenance. We provide a broad range of products and services in the asphalt, seal coating, and striping industry. Whether it's for a commercial or industrial customer or helping serve other contractors like ourselves, we're here to serve our community with over 25 years experience. Get a free estimate. Call us at 256-454-5336 or contact Cofield Asphalt Refinishing. Step into the offices of J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA, where you'll find professional one-on-one service for business and individual clients. In this ever-changing tax and economic climate, you can count on receiving the expert advice you need. J. Britt Middlebrook works hard to provide every client what they need to meet all deadlines. Tax season will be here soon. For all your accounting service needs, call or stop by at 1913 Berry Street in Oxford. That's J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA. Cofield Asphalt Refinishing is Northeast Alabama's go-to source for exterior parking lot maintenance. We provide a broad range of products and services in the asphalt, seal coating, and striping industry. Whether it's for a commercial or industrial customer or helping serve other contractors like ourselves, we're here to serve our community with over 25 years experience. Get a free estimate. Call us at 256-454-5336 or contact Cofield Asphalt Refinishing.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Eli Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Harrison Sports and Chiropractic, located in Anniston, Alabama, is dedicated to their patients. Car accidents, injuries, pain management, or even if you're just feeling the wear and tear of everyday life, Dr. Farr and Dr. Harrison can help. Call them today at 256-231-0417 or like them on Facebook. Walk-ins are welcome, most insurance accepted. Contact them today. That's 256-231-0417.
Welcome back to our reveal special here tonight on FNN. Happy holidays to you. Jim Jacobs alongside Grady Sapp, the voice of the game of the week here on the Friday Night Network. As our 10th anniversary season winds down, it's time for us to recognize the coaches and the players that stood up here among all the others.
Yes. And let me tell you, it's never an easy choice in terms of who the nominees are going to be, because there is a lot of talent in this area that we cover with our high school game of the week, and of course some outstanding coaches. So believe me when I tell you, it's not done lightly and it's not done easily, but we have to limit it to only 4.
Yep. Our process is we nominate 4, and then we run through the process, the 4-step process that determines who the winner is in each class. Let me tell you how the nominees or where they come from or what the criteria is for them to be selected. We basically, it starts with you must appear on FNN in the game of the week during the season. That's the first criteria. The second is it has to be a team from within our coverage area, because occasionally the FNN game of the week gets us a team on, if we're doing a playoff game or a special game of some kind, gets us to a team that's outside our coverage area. We consider our primary coverage area to be Clay, Cleburne, Calhoun, Talladega, St. Clair, Randolph, Cherokee, Etowah counties, and that also includes the Leeds area. We kind of slip them in there on the west side of the St. Clair County part, but right. that's our area. And those I think there's like 42 high schools, Grady, in those counties.
Right, and we travel and cover some miles in those counties, and it's a pretty wide area. So as you can imagine, as I said a moment ago, a lot of talent to choose from, and a lot of very deserving players and coaches that we see in the course of a high school football season.
All right, well, let's get to it. Our first Coach of the Year nominee is no stranger to this award. He's received it before, back in 2018, and he's been nominated every year since we started this process, and there's no reason Steve Smith isn't a part of it again.
Absolutely, another fabulous run for the Bulldogs. They lose once in the regular season, an incredible game with Ohatchee, where Ohatchee just went into the Field of Champions and did something that not a lot of teams can do, and that's get away with a win. But then, you know, the Bulldogs come right back down the stretch. They win out throughout the regular season, including that game we talked about earlier at Welborn, and put themselves in as another #1 seed, and they make it all the way to the semifinals, and they ran up against the Fife Red Devils, a team that we were very impressed with when we saw them. And you know what, though? If you looked at that game, if you watched that game, and you had a chance to go back and watch it.
I did.
Piedmont moved the ball all over the field, and were in position to have a great chance to win that football game. I think if you took those two teams, I think if they played 10 times, it would be pretty evenly split.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I think if they played 10 times, those two would probably split 5-5.
Probably so.
That's the way I look at it. The weather, I think, really hurt Piedmont in the end of the game with the heavy rain, because we knew that they were going to have to throw the ball a good bit to you know, kind of spread that Fife defense out a little bit. And, you know, when it's just raining as hard as it was in that game, you just can't do that. And, of course, Fife is Fife. They're not going to beat themselves.
But you know what, Steve Smith, year in and year out, it's not just this year. It's not just last year.
It'll be next year.
It'll be every year with a Steve Smith coached program there at Piedmont. They are going to be in the mix. They're going to be one of the teams you have to beat if you want to win a state title at the 3A level. And you know what? He doesn't. It's not a flash in the pan. He does it year in and year out. Man's just an outstanding coach.
Yep, absolutely. It was harder. The hardest thing with Coach Smith this year was finding the right picture with that mullet. Now, I understand he's cut it.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of him the other day, and it looked like he'd had a haircut. But we wanted his nominee picture here to be with the mullet, because that was a big topic of conversation all season with Coach Smith and the mullet. But congratulations to Coach Steve Smith, the Piedmont Bulldogs, our first of 4 2020 Coach of the Year nominees. And Grady, let's move on to our next nominee. And this one, might catch a few people by surprise, but if you really do a deep dive into what this guy has done with this program, there shouldn't be any surprise after you look at the numbers. And we're talking about the man who's really revived the program at B.B. Comer, Adam Fawcett.
Absolutely. A lot of people maybe in the Calhoun County area where we're based out of, they're not familiar with Coach Fawcett and probably not as familiar with B.B. Comer. But that was a program that about 3 or 4 years ago, when he first got there, they were down to, I think, suiting up 14 players. The program was almost dead. It was almost completely in a shambles, and it was in a shambles. And then in a short period of time, Coach Fawcett has brought that back to where they are a contender in their region. They've been to the state playoffs back-to-back seasons now, and they finished second in region play this year. So what a turnaround for B.B. Comer. And Jim, that's not the first time that Coach Fawcett's done this.
No, in fact, Grady, Comer's the third school in Talladega County that Coach Fawcett has really done a turnaround job on. He went into Winterboro and got them squared away, then left there and went to Childersburg, kind of turned that around before taking the step to Smith Station, which didn't work out for him, and that brought him back to B.B. Comer, where he's been, I think this is his third year?
I think this was his third year, I believe, at B.B. Comer. So what a job he's done there. And we had them in the middle part of our season. We had them in Winterboro, and when we went down to Legion Stadium in Sylacauga, my first trip to do a ball game there, very impressed with the product that he put on the field. That was a good football team.
Absolutely. Well, they really kind of showed that, Grady, the year before when they were in 3A, up here with the SEC West of high school football with the Welborns and Piedmonts, and they didn't upset any of the top 3, but they managed to slip in and get that 4th spot. And with where they've come from, I think I looked at the stats before Coach Fawcett's arrival at B.B. Comer. I think they won 5 games in the 10 years prior. You cannot understate you cannot overstate the shape this program was in when he got there.
No, you really can. He's done an outstanding job, and he's done it at multiple schools, and now B.B. Comer is, it's running well. I spent a good bit of time down in the Sylacauga area with work, so, I know what the locals think, and all the locals there, very impressed with Coach Fawcett and what he's done, and, hats off. It's hard, Jim, to come in when you get a program that's that far down at the 2A level, and then you get the kids to come back out and you get them back involved in football, and he's done that. And, look for them to continue to be good. And even though you may not be as familiar with him, as Jim said, trust me, you do a little bit of a deep dive, you'll find out just what a job he's done at B.B. Comer.
An outstanding job. So congratulations to Coach Adam Fawcett of the B.B. Comer Tigers, our second of 4 nominees. We need to catch a break and pay some bills, and then when we come back, we'll get you our final 2 coaches that'll be in the running for the 2020 Coach of the Year Award here on the Friday Night Network. You stay right where you are.
If you want to experience what makes a great community grocery store, stop in Ohatchee Discount Supermarket on Highway 77. It all starts with a clean store, friendly service, and well-stocked shelves, full of what I need, like fresh produce, bread and baked items, lots of meats, drinks and snacks, laundry and cleaning supplies, and so much more. They're open daily, 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. And since they're so close to the lake, they're always good for a last-minute cookout. Great prices to boot. Ohatchee Discount Supermarket.
Cofield Asphalt Refinishing is Northeast Alabama's go-to source for exterior parking lot maintenance. We provide a broad range of products and services in the asphalt, seal coating, and striping industry. Whether it's for a commercial or industrial customer or helping serve other contractors like ourselves, we're here to serve our community with over 25 years experience. Get a free estimate. Call us at 256-454-5336 or contact Cofield Asphalt Refinishing.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit debit card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at F&M Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Harrison Sports and Chiropractic, located in Anniston, Alabama, is dedicated to their patients. Car accidents, injuries, pain management, or even if you're just feeling the wear and tear of everyday life, Dr. Farr and Dr. Harrison can help. Call them today at 256-231-0417 or like them on Facebook. Walk-ins are welcome, most insurance accepted. Contact them today. That's 256-231-0417.
Welcome back to the 2020 High School Football Player and Coach of the Year Reveal Show here on the Friday Night Network on our night after Christmas get-together here in the studios on Quintard in downtown Anniston. Jim Jacobs alongside Grady Sapp. Two coaches in, Coach Steve Smith, our 2018 Coach of the Year, and Coach Adam Fawcett from B.B. Comer, his first time to be nominated for the award. Next up, another first-timer for us here tonight. But Grady, even if he gets our hardware, I don't think it'll top that he got over in Tuscaloosa just a few weeks ago.
No, the Blue Map is a pretty good little piece of hardware to carry home with you.
Football man's nice.
It is. It's really nice, but
it's not a Blue Map.
No, it's not. And this is another well-earned nominee, Jim, because he's done a great job wherever he's been, but he's certainly gone in and won his is this his second title at Handley?
Yep,
second state championship at Handley.
Second in 5 years.
Yes. And
Coach Larry Strain is nominee number 3 for the 2020 High School Football Coach of the Year Award here from FNN. And of course, Grady and I really kind of got to know Coach Strain more through basketball initially than football, but you know, he spent so much time down at Woodland, Grady, and got so ingrained over there in Randolph County. Of course, I think his first actual coaching job was as an assistant at Handley, and he had always said that going back to Handley would be his dream job.
And the opportunity came along, and he took it, and you know what? It's been a pretty darn good match for both sides because he's done great work. I think he won a state title in his first year at Handley, and then they had to go through a little bit of a rebuilding process over the last couple of years, and then you come back this year with what, as we mentioned earlier, was one of the best teams that we saw all season, and they overcame a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of teams had to, but just the fact that they didn't, if I'm not mistaken, I think they played on the road something like 6 or 7 times here during the season, including the playoffs. So only very, very few home games, and yet they come back with a Blue Map, and one of the most talented teams we saw, and Coach Strain has always done an outstanding job wherever he's been, be it Woodland, White Plains, and now at Handley, does an outstanding job and certainly well deserving of this nomination.
And no question about it. Of course, he's losing Dylan Brooks. I believe he's committed to Tennessee. Young man, I think Coach Strain told me had like 41 offers.
Goodness.
Isn't that special?
That's special.
Yeah,
that's special.
So you won't replace him; you'll just fill his slot.
Yeah, you will. But
I said that to say this: they're a relatively young team, and I think they're going to be back in the mix again next year.
Oh, I think so. And you know, one of the hallmarks of a Coach Strain prepared team is they are very efficient. They don't beat themselves. They don't make a lot of mistakes, and he will step up and play the tougher competition because he wants them to be tested during the season. And that's playing Central Clay County, that's a game that's become a yearly rivalry that that they play the final week of the regular season before both teams go into the postseason. And he's one of these guys who's not afraid to play anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Well, tell you what, he had the ultimate award this year,
yes.
And we're just glad that we can recognize Coach Strain and that we had a chance to get Hanley on this year up at Cherokee County, because that second half up there, that was some physical big man football.
Yes, it was. Impressive football team. And the blue map is nice, but I think he would enjoy one of these too.
You think he'd like Football Man?
I think he would like Football Man. He'll put it in the trophy case if he wins it.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to Coach Larry Strain, nominee number 3, joining Steve Smith from Piedmont and Coach Adam Fawcett of the B.B. Comer Tigers as nominees for this year's Coach of the Year. Well, Grady, there's one left. Who do you think it might be?
Well, could it be someone from another team that is pretty much in the mix year in and year out and around this parts in high school football?
Yeah, I would say that would be a prerequisite almost.
Yeah, guy has some pretty impressive wins on his resume. Another guy who's taken a program that was really, really down, and then once he got there has built it into a powerhouse.
Yep, and of course we might also mention that he's also a former FNN Coach of the Year. Back before this format began, we awarded the 2016 award to Coach Scott Martin of the Ohatchee Indians, and Ohatchee and Coach Martin are back this year as the final Coach of the Year nominee, Coach Scott Martin, and I can't think of anybody more deserving.
No, I can't either. I mean, you look at that Ohatchee program, the thing that's always impressed me when we talk about Coach Martin is he came to Ohatchee, he had an offensive system that he ran, and he got to Ohatchee and took a look at the players and the types of players he was going to have, and he said, you know what, my system's not going to work. I've got to change. And so he goes and learns the Ugly Eagle offense, so to speak, from Fife, and completely changes his philosophy and adapts what will work at Ohatchee. And boy, has that paid off in spades for him, Jim.
Oh, there's no question, Grady. Ohatchee, to me, the thing that's the most impressive about this year's run is not necessarily that they did it, but leaving out the fact that they went back up to 3A from 2A. Because, I mean, if you go out to Ohatchee and you look around and you think, wow, how can this be a 3A program or a 4A program? I mean, it's a small, bedroom community. It's a lake community basically, and it's really impressive that they've been able to do the things that they've been able to do, with the pool of players to draw from.
Yeah, and when you lose the likes of Dominic Thomas, who had been a stalwart at that program, an outstanding player, you lose him coming into this year, and what do? Well, you just put together another great season. And it was an impressive year in that they lost in that third week when we talked about what a fantastic game against Welborn. They lost at Ohatchee in the regular season. Those kids, and Coach Martin talked with us about that, are not used to that. So, our question was, how would they respond? Well, they responded by running the table for the rest of the regular season, and including a win at Piedmont to end up tied for first in that region. So what a great coaching job by Scott Martin again this year.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. We did their final game of the year, again, out at Ohatchee, when Fife came to town. That was as intense a football game as I think I've ever attended. I mean, yes, Fife won the game on the scoreboard rather handily, but Ohatchee fought and clawed, and that was one thing you can count on when you play Ohatchee or Welborn or Piedmont. You're going to get hit.
You are. It's going to be physical.
And you throw Fife in that, they're going to hit you too.
Yes.
So, I mean, it was as intense a physical football game as I think I've ever witnessed.
It really was. It was a fun football game to do, and you know what? Up until that point of the season, they played them tougher than anybody had. They gave them much more of a game than they'd had all year. And, of course, that trend continued over the next 2 weeks that Fife had to struggle to win the state. But, Coach Martin teams are always prepared, and they're always resilient, and they're always going to give you their best shot. I don't know that we've ever done an Ohatchee game where they played what we would consider poorly. I don't think I've ever done one that they did.
Yep, absolutely. So there you have it. 4 nominees for Coach of the Year. Let's run through them once again. Steve Smith, our 2018 Coach of the Year from the Piedmont Bulldogs, nominee number 1. Nominee number 2, a first-timer, Adam Fawcett from the B.B. Comer Tigers. Number 3, another first-timer for us, Coach Larry Strain, the defending 4A state champion Hanley Tigers. And number 4, Coach Scott Martin of the Ohatchee Indians, also a previous Coach of the Year from 2016. So Grady, will we have another 2-time winner at the awards night this year, or will we see a first-time winner? That's a tough call.
That's a tough call. You know what? I don't know how you pick one of those just yet, of course, and we'll go through the process in a little while of how that will be determined, but I will tell you that you'll have a lot of input on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Fans are a part of it. We vote. We've also got a panel that we use each year, and we even go out and find a coach that didn't face any of them over the season to give us his 2 cents to put the cherry on top of the icing.
So it'll be, I can promise you, it's going to be a tough choice.
Well, we're midway there. We've got 4 players to tell you about, and we will do that right after this break here on the Friday Night Network High School Football 2020 Nominee Reveal Show on the Friday Night Network.
Blue Mountain Pallet and Wood Recycling is a locally owned business and has been serving Northeast Alabama since 1997. We provide a variety of wood products at reasonable prices. We support our churches, schools, and law enforcement. Ronald Reagan once said, entrepreneurs and their small enterprises are responsible for almost all the economic growth in the United States. Blue Mountain Pallet, 3614 Old Birmingham Highway. Come see us.
Cofield Asphalt Refinishing is Northeast Alabama's go-to source for exterior parking lot maintenance. We provide a broad range of products and services in the asphalt, seal coating, and striping industry. Whether it's for a commercial or industrial customer or helping serve other contractors like ourselves, we're here to serve our community with over 25 years experience. Get a free estimate. Call us at 256-454-5336 or contact Cofield Asphalt Refinishing.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit debit card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at F&M Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
At iCare Alabama, our goal is to meet the needs of every patient. Dr. Dwayne Mohan and Dr. Ryan Price always strive for excellent outcomes. We want each patient to get the best vision and medical care possible. At iCare Alabama, we utilize all the latest technological advances to ensure that you receive the best quality eye care. So call for an appointment at any of our 4 locations in Piedmont, Heflin, Roanoke, or Atala and see the difference. Most insurance is accepted. iCare Alabama. Efficient, effective eye care close to home.
If you want to experience what makes a great community grocery store, stop in Ohatchee Discount Supermarket on Highway 77. It all starts with a clean store, friendly service, and well-stocked shelves, full of what I need, like fresh produce, bread and baked items, lots of meats, drinks and snacks, laundry and cleaning supplies, and so much more. They're open daily, 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. And since they're so close to the lake, they're always good for a last-minute cookout. Great prices to boot. Ohatchee Discount Supermarket.
Welcome back. The coaches are in the books, and now it's time to turn to the guys who put on the pads and the helmets.
Yes, sir. And boy, you talk about some talented players. Our nominees are certainly that. And let's give a tip of the cap to, all of the players, all of the kids from this year, Jim. We talked about earlier in the show this was a year that presented challenges unlike any other, and you know what? Those kids and those players just did a fantastic job of following the guidelines and doing what they had to do so that they could play football.
They did things, Grady, that went against the grain of being a kid.
Absolutely.
And did it very, very well. We had very few teams in our area that lost a lot due to COVID. We had a few forfeits here and there, but generally speaking, the kids did what they needed to do. The coaches got the messages across. And, tip of the hat, especially to the seniors on all these football teams, because they had to step up and be leaders in a way they've never experienced before.
Right, because they didn't know from one week to the next, was that going to be the final week?
And thank goodness we never had to experience a final week until championship week over in Tuscaloosa when we crowned 7 Blue Map recipients this year. Well, let's get right to it. We've got a couple of guys that have been here before for you and a couple of new faces to tell you about. And we'll start with that little bit of teaser. Grady, I can't think of a person to start with more so than the guy who quarterbacked the Oxford Yellow Jackets this year. A 2019 nominee is back for 2020, number 3, Trey Higgins.
All right, Trey is the, embodiment of toughness. When you look at him, he leaves everything on the field when he plays. He's got obviously a lot of ability, a lot of talent, but his mentality, Jim, was one of the things that always impressed me about him in his high school career.
Well, I think my first experience, Ray, was in the Pinson Valley game last year when they just beat the ever-loving daylights out of him. I mean, he was under attack all night and just showed an incredible amount of grit just to keep getting up and keep getting up and keep coming. And of course, they managed to pull that game out, and it was a big step in their trip to the state championship. That was last year. This year, Trey's, come to the season as a senior, a leader, a guy who, had to step up and try to repeat with a team that's just absolutely loaded with talent.
Oh, absolutely. It was a fantastic year again for Trey, and he led the Yellow Jackets to some memorable wins. They came up a little short in their bid to repeat this year, but he had a great year. One play that stood out to me when we had him was, we had him against Southside, and there was a play where he rolled to his left out of his own end zone on a 3rd and long and just threw a rope to Rock Taylor out about the 35 or 40 yard line across his body, and just showing the arm strength and the ability and the field vision. That kind of play kind of typifies what he brings to the table. He's going to find a way to get it done. And a very talented athlete, obviously, is going to, I think it's Mississippi State to play baseball. Right. So at least a 2-sport star in Trey Higgins, and back-to-back seasons leading a great team, and he was their leader.
Yeah, and don't let me forget to mention now, as we talk about each of these players, on the screen below us, you're going to see kind of a stat line crawl that's going to show you some of their numbers and stuff from the year, and you're going to need a calculator for Trey.
Yeah, there's some pretty big numbers there. Yeah. He always put up the big numbers, but again, boy, you can't quantify heart, and that kid has a lot of that.
Boy. All right, our second Player of the Year nominee for 2020 is a young man that, much like his coach, already has some hefty hardware, but he's had quite a season with over 2,000 yards and, just multiple touchdowns. It's all on the stat line below. But when you look at him in his uniform here, he kind of reminds you of David Palmer from down in Tuscaloosa in the Alabama days. We're talking about Tay Meadows, the 4A state championship game MVP, our second Player of the Year nominee from the Handley Tigers.
Just an outstanding football player. Seeing him against Cherokee County, he made so many big runs and big plays. And gosh, Jim, I remember in that game seeing him cut to daylight and just the acceleration that he has, the speed and the physicality at that running back position. He's one of those rare players that he has both of those. He's not a guy that you just really want to hit, but he's also a guy that can get a step on you and leave you in the dust.
And if you ask Coach Larry Strain, the best thing about Tay Meadows is he's got another year.
Coach Strain is very happy about that.
Yeah, you know, the young man had to come back from a pretty devastating injury, I think, that happened his freshman year, missed most of his sophomore year, and, of course, got back on the field this year. And I'm with Grady. The speed is obviously there. That's easy to see in the open field, but I like the physicality about the way he runs.
Yeah, he's not always looking to avoid you. Sometimes he's looking to run over you.
Yeah, and he did that a lot. 4 touchdowns in the state championship game to take Hanley to their second blue map in 5 seasons under Coach Larry Strain. And Tay Meadows, you know, I think his stats, if I'm not mistaken, Grady, almost 9.5 yards per carry in a 2,000-plus yard season. That's, you know, it's one thing to do it when you break out and you get those big long runs, but when you get in there and you're that workhorse and you're going to touch the football 25, 30 times a ball game, that's impressive numbers.
Yeah, and he is a very dominant player in Class 4A, and when you're that dominant at that 4A level, and once you kind of get 4A and on up and you're that dominant, you are something very special.
No question. Our second nominee for the 2020 High School Football Player of the Year, running back Tay Meadows from the Hanley Tigers. We need to catch a break. When we come back, 2 down, 2 to go. We'll get right to it here on the Friday Night Network.
Harrison Sports and Chiropractic, located in Anniston, Alabama, is dedicated to their patients. Car accidents, injuries, pain management, or even if you're just feeling the wear and tear of everyday life, Dr. Farr and Dr. Harrison can help. Call them today at 256-231-0417 or like them on Facebook. Walk-ins are welcome, most insurance accepted. Contact them today. That's 256-231-0417.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just 1 or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
If you want to experience what makes a great community grocery store, stop in Ohatchee Discount Supermarket on Highway 77. It all starts with a clean store, friendly service, and well-stocked shelves, full of what I need, like fresh produce, bread and baked items, lots of meats, drinks and snacks, laundry and cleaning supplies, and so much more. They're open daily, 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. And since they're so close to the lake, they're always good for a last-minute cookout. Great prices to boot. Ohatchee Discount Supermarket.
Cofield Asphalt Refinishing is Northeast Alabama's go-to source for exterior parking lot maintenance. We provide a broad range of products and services in the asphalt, seal coating, and striping industry. Whether it's for a commercial or industrial customer or helping serve other contractors like ourselves, we're here to serve our community with over 25 years experience. Get a free estimate. Call us at 256-454-5336 or contact Cofield Asphalt Refinishing.
I'm Mark Box. I've been a part of the funeral industry for over 25 years. As a funeral professional, serving others is an integrated part of my life. It's been a privilege helping families in many ways throughout my career. As the owner of Anniston Memorial Funeral Home, Anniston Memorial Gardens, and Maple Grove Cemetery, I would like each of you to know that my staff and I are here to serve each of you during your time of need. We want you to feel comforted and honored as we memorialize the life of your loved one. I am grateful for the opportunity to give back within Calhoun County and our local communities. It is our hope and prayer that each family we meet feels cared for and loved.
Step into the offices of J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA, where you'll find professional one-on-one service for business and individual clients. In this ever-changing tax and economic climate, you can count on receiving the expert advice you need. J. Britt Middlebrook works hard to provide every client what they need to meet all deadlines. Tax season will be here soon. For all your accounting service needs, call or stop by at 1913 Berry Street in Oxford. That's J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA. Welcome back to FNN's 2020 High School Football Reveal Show for the nominees for Coach of the Year and Player of the Year. We've already got the 4 coaches out there, and in the last segment we named the first 2 players of 4 to be considered. Last year, a nominee, Trey Higgins, the all-everything quarterback from the Oxford Yellow Jackets, and the 4A state championship game MVP, number 2, the Deuce Tay Meadows from the Handley Tigers. Who's going to join them?
Well, we got 2 more very deserving players, one of which is a young man that we have watched for, since he was an 8th grader.
At least
an 8th grader. He played for his dad, and he's going to go down in the annals of Wellborn football as one of the best ever.
And deservedly so. Yeah. We're talking about another 2019 nominee that's back for 2020, the quarterback linebacker from the Wellborn Panthers, the senior number 9, Jet Smith.
One of my favorites that we've covered over, period, ever. Just love the moxie and the heart and the mentality that Jet played with. He's a kid that, obviously a leader on offense. You've talked about the ability to score points and lead his offense, but he's also the quarterback of the defense at that middle linebacker spot. And we've talked about before, it's not all that often that you see your quarterback playing middle linebacker on your defense. But boy, and he brought it every play, every single game. I don't even know how many tackles he averaged per game, but unbelievable kid. And he, as good as he was on offense, heck, he might have been better on defense.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that, Grady. And, when you get to know these kids the way we do in covering them, especially over multiple seasons, you really get to kind of get a feel for what they're like as people. Mm-hmm. Jet is as quiet and humble a young man as you would ever want to meet. If you walked up to him in the mall and had a conversation with him, you would have no idea that on Friday night he will knock your head off.
Yes, he will. He will hit you, and he makes heads-up plays. He's obviously coach's son.
Yep.
And he plays like that. He's a very, very intelligent player. Makes the right decisions. Puts his team in position to make plays, and is a true leader. And I can't think of a more deserving person to be nominated.
Finished his career, Grady, as the number 2 all-time tackles player in the state of Alabama.
Well, when you have Coach Steve Smith from Piedmont tell you that they designed some plays just to try to tire him out because he's making every play,
yep,
that tells you all you need to know.
That's exactly right. Our third player to be selected as a 2020 High School Football Player of the Year nominee, senior Jet Smith of the Walter Wellborn Panthers. Well, 3 down and 1 to go. And we told you there were 2 returning and 2 new. Mm-hmm. So this is a new face. We saw him twice this season. And when we say see him, we mean that literally, because if you blink, you'll miss him.
Absolutely.
Number 3 for the Etowah Blue Devils, senior Trent Davis is our final Player of the Year nominee for the 2020 season.
And of course, Trent is a Duke signee,
right,
and he is going to head to continue his football career at Duke University, and that's well deserved. That kid can. You talk about a set of jets. He can fly, and I was very impressed with him.
He is the only back that we saw this past year, Grady, that I thought that had the speed that maybe equaled Ron Wiggins.
Yeah.
Just when he got out in the open field, you're just talking about blazing speed.
Yeah, he had a gear that he could kick it into that not many people have, and we didn't see anybody else this year that had that gear.
You don't see many backs that come out of the gap so fast. Mm-hmm. When he would hit the hole at the line, and then if he got one step, it was like motor on, man.
Yeah, he was gone. You weren't going to catch him. It didn't matter the angle you had. One of the fastest players we saw, and certainly, Jim, he meant a lot to his team. His game break ability was a key for the Blue Devils' run to the state semifinals in Class 4A out of the North. I mean, they had a tremendous year.
Absolutely. I mean, when you talk about a situation where you change head football coaches, I mean, keep in mind that Coach Locke this year is the third high school head coach that Trent played for.
And he was outstanding for all three of them.
Yep.
Coach Locke was really glad to have him on the team this year.
Yep. So our final Player of the Year nominee, number 3 for the Etowah Blue Devils, our first time to select Trent Davis as one of the 4. Well, there you have it. 4 of them. Let's run through them again, Grady, real quick. We got Tay Meadows from down at Hanley, Trey Higgins returning from Oxford, Jet Smith back from Walter Welborn, and Trent Davis from the Etowah Blue Devils. All of them have stats worthy of the award, but only one will take home Football Man.
Good luck on your voting.
And talk about voting. How does it happen? What's it all about? Well, if you'll sit through the next couple of minutes of commercials, we'll tell you exactly what happens next here on the Friday Night Network 2020 High School Football Nominee Reveal Show. Cofield Asphalt Refinishing is Northeast Alabama's go-to source for exterior parking lot maintenance. We provide a broad range of products and services in the asphalt, seal coating, and striping industry. Whether it's for a commercial or industrial customer or helping serve other contractors like ourselves, we're here to serve our community with over 25 years experience. Get a free estimate. Call us at 256-454-5336 or contact Cofield Asphalt Refinishing.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
If you want to experience what makes a great community grocery store, stop in Ohatchee Discount Supermarket on Highway 77. It all starts with a clean store, friendly service, and well-stocked shelves, full of what I need, like fresh produce, bread and baked items, lots of meats, drinks and snacks, laundry and cleaning supplies, and so much more. They're open daily, 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. And since they're so close to the lake, they're always good for a last-minute cookout. Great prices to boot. Ohatchee Discount Supermarket.
Harrison Sports and Chiropractic, located in Anniston, Alabama, is dedicated to their patients. Car accidents, injuries, pain management, or even if you're just feeling the wear and tear of everyday life, Dr. Farr and Dr. Harrison can help. Call them today at 256-231-0417 or like them on Facebook. Walk-ins are welcome, most insurance accepted. Contact them today. That's 256-231-0417.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit debit card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at F&M Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
And welcome back for our 2020 High School Football Coach and Player of the Year Nominee Reveal Show. Well, now you know who the 4 coaches are and you know who the 4 players are. We'll remind you of them one more time before we leave, but we want to tell you what the process is that will now begin to select them. And it begins with you.
Yeah, you get to play a very key role in who is going to walk away with these awards. So pay attention and make sure that you get your vote in and make it count.
Immediately after the show concludes, you'll be able to go to the FNN Facebook page and you'll find 2 posts that will allow you in the comments section to select your coach and player of the year from the 4 young men and 4 coaches that we've placed into nomination here tonight. That vote will continue through Monday, January the 25th at 5 p.m. That's when the voting will close. The fan vote counts for 30% of the overall vote on who will be selected as the player of the year and the coach of the year. So the fans have a 30% say in who will walk away with our Football Man trophy when the awards night takes place. And Grady, after that happens, we vote. The FNN crew, Grady, myself, my son Jake, Coach Bullock that helps us with calling the games, and a couple more folks that are on our crew, we all get together and we make our selections. So we're second in the process that takes place.
Right, but your vote counts a whole lot. Then we get a vote on it, and we saw all of these guys and had the honor to call their football games and witness what they've been able to do. And we saw them in a lot of cases on multiple occasions. And trust me, it's going to be a tough call for us to pick one out of all of this. Oh,
we sit and argue for hours over this.
Yes, we do.
Our votes, our totals, once we select our choices, goes to 35% of the total. That's the second step in a 4-step process. Number 3 in the process is, and I mean you see it here on your screen, we have a panel of 5 independent people who know something about football. They're not coaches, they're not administrators at schools, they're just people out in the community. We cycle on and off members each year to get to an independent panel, which their vote will determine 25% toward the overall total, and they will vote as soon as the fan vote closes on the 25th. We'll have them ballots, they'll vote, they send them back to us, we give them to our CPA firm, and they total those up. And then the final thing we did, and we instituted this last year, I think, for the first time.
Yeah.
And I think it's a smart thing to do, is we go out and we find a coach, a high school coach, that did not play against any of the 4 coaches or did not play against any of the 4 players. So they don't have a dog in the fight, so to speak.
Right.
They're not a region opponent or anything like that. They're just coaches, and they know more about all this than we'll forget in a lifetime.
No doubt.
And we have a coach that does the coaches and a coach that does the players, and their vote goes toward the final 10%. So we basically view them as almost a tiebreaker if necessary.
Right. So the multi-step process, I think we feel like it enables us to absolutely get the right person to win the awards.
Absolutely. So there you have it. There's the 4-step process. Now, the Coach of the Year and Player of the Year, we normally tell you, will be named and honored during our awards night and banquet, which during a normal year would come around somewhere in the first half of the month of February. Unfortunately, tonight, we can't tell you when that's going to be, because we will delay this as long as we feel it's reasonably necessary to where we can have that gathering, because we feel like that's their high school moment, so to speak, to get all these guys and coaches and their families and administrators, and we put about 200 to 300 people in a room. We feed them, we have a good time, we relive the season, we pass out awards, and we don't want to lose that this year if we can help it.
Right. We want to be able to put that together so they can experience that. And, it's always been a fun thing when we get together and do the banquet, but it has to be where we can do it safely. So that call will be made once we feel like it's safe for us to have people together in an area and do this the right way.
Absolutely. So, we would like to hold it in February. We don't know if that's possible now on several different levels. So as soon as we know, we will let you know, but we will tell you this: awards night, the banquet will happen at some point in time, preferably before the school year ends, that's for sure. So there you have it. That's how it's done. We've got one more little thing we need to take care of before we go through the nominees one more time. We put up on our Facebook page during the season on 2 or 3 different occasions, we saw some teams put on some uniforms that were not their traditional, like Welburn's black and white at home, or, the Oxford gold pants and black shirts at their place, or Piedmont wearing their traditional white and gold on the road. And we thought, well, it would be kind of neat to let the fans vote on a couple of these uniforms that we saw over the season, and give us some feedback on what they thought. And the two we selected that caught our eye the most over the year, the first one we saw in person when we did the game over at Southside is when Coach Keith Etheridge rolled out the all whites with the gold numbers.
Yeah.
Grady, those things were bad to the bone.
They were. They had the black helmets on top of the all white uniforms.
Yep.
Great looking setup, and kind of caught us by surprise, and we were impressed.
Absolutely. And the second one that we saw, the second one that we saw happen over the year that we didn't actually get to see in person was when Piedmont wore the all gray with the blue numbers and the gold trim at home with the blue helmets. Grady, that was slick.
That was slick. That was a great looking uniform, and I know the fans loved that. And painted, we didn't get to see that in person. Those were great looking uniforms.
We'll have to lobby Coach Smith to see if they could maybe wear those on the road. I don't know if they can or not, but they were really, really slick. So those were the two that we put up for you to vote on. It was awfully close, but we're pleased to announce tonight, as promised, that the special award this year for the most unique, I don't know what you call it, it's just non-traditional uniform. Goes to the Piedmont Bulldogs in that all gray.
Loved it. Good choice.
We'll have a nice little award for Coach Smith and the Bulldogs to pick up at awards night, congratulating Piedmont on the all gray with the blue numbers and blue helmets uniform. Really looked good.
Yeah, it absolutely did. Good choice.
All right, Grady. Well, let's run through them one more time. We'll start with the coaches. The four nominees again for this year in the order that we announced them. Coach Steve Smith of the Piedmont Bulldogs, Coach Adam Fawcett of the B.B. Comer Tigers, Coach Larry Strain of the Handley Tigers, and Coach Scott Martin of the Ohatchee Indians. Four very deserving whistleblowers.
Absolutely, and we're excited to have those as our four nominees. And so when we wrap up the show here tonight, get your votes in.
Absolutely. Head to Facebook and start pounding in those names.
Yep.
Because 30% is a big percentage of that total vote.
Yes,
so getting that vote out is going to count, and it's going to mean as much for these four players that we have selected, starting with Trey Higgins, the quarterback from Oxford, the senior, Tay Meadows from the Handley Tigers, of course Jet Smith from the Walter Welborn Panthers, and Trent Davis from the Etowah Blue Devils.
Again, four very deserving nominees, and again, you got your work cut out for you, as we do, in picking one of these nominees for FNN Player of the Year.
They're all deserving.
Very much so.
It's like you could almost flip a coin for any of these coaches or any of these players. But when we set out to do this, Grady, our goal was we wanted the guy that was here. Just that notch above everybody else. And we think we've put together a process that makes that happen.
Absolutely. And, we feel very good about all four nominees in both categories. And, we feel like we got some very deserving players and coaches there. And we feel like we've got, in this year, in 2020, the ones that needed to be there.
Would like to say thank you again tonight to our sponsors that made tonight's reveal show possible. Cofield Asphalt Refinishing in Munford, also Jeff and the crew out at Ohatchee Supermarket, and finally our friends over at Harrison Sports Chiropractic and their Athlete Recovery Program for bringing you tonight's show. If you get a chance to say thank you to any of those people over the next couple of weeks for what they do to bring high school football to you throughout the year, it'd be a great thing for you to do.
Absolutely. Great folks at all of those locations, and we certainly appreciate them.
Well, partner, I think that just about, other than one more night, puts a cap on the 10th anniversary season.
It does. Hard to believe. 10 years that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, of course, none of this is possible without you. You're the fans. You're the ones that log in and watch the games on all of our different platforms. And each and every season we're absolutely amazed and humbled by the numbers that we see when we look at the reports after our games, and it's a really special honor for us to do what we do. We do it for the kids, we do it for the fans, and we couldn't do it without people like you that join us each and every Friday. And one of the most best parts of the season for me, Grady, is during the year to open up my iPad and look at messages, and the first thing you usually see on every Monday or Tuesday morning is what's going to be the game of the week.
Absolutely. We're glad that you care. We're glad that you watch, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you for being a part of it with us. It's a labor of love. We love going out and doing this, and we really are very thankful and humbled that you enjoy watching it.
Absolutely. And with that said, congratulations to our 4 coach nominees and our 4 player nominees. We wish you all success in the balloting and the selection process, and we will tell you who the winners are on awards night. Just stay right here and we'll keep you posted on when the date is set for that. For Grady Sapp, the entire FNN crew, I'm Jim Jacobs saying good night from our studios here in Anniston.
Blue Mountain Pallet and Wood Recycling is a locally owned business and has been serving Northeast Alabama since 1997. We provide a variety of wood products at reasonable prices. We support our churches, schools, and law enforcement. Ronald Reagan once said, entrepreneurs and their small enterprises are responsible for almost all the economic growth in the United States. Blue Mountain Pallet, 3614 Old Birmingham Highway. Come see us.
Cofield Asphalt Refinishing is Northeast Alabama's go-to source for exterior parking lot maintenance. We provide a broad range of products and services in the asphalt, seal coating, and striping industry. Whether it's for a commercial or industrial customer or helping serve other contractors like ourselves, we're here to serve our community with over 25 years experience. Get a free estimate. Call us at 256-454-5336 or contact Cofield Asphalt Refinishing.
If you want to experience what makes a great community grocery store, stop in Ohatchee Discount Supermarket on Highway 77. It all starts with a clean store, friendly service, and well-stocked shelves, full of what I need, like fresh produce, bread and baked items, lots of meats, drinks and snacks, laundry and cleaning supplies, and so much more. They're open daily, 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. And since they're so close to the lake, they're always good for a last-minute cookout. Great prices to boot. Ohatchee Discount Supermarket.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Eli Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Harrison Sports and Chiropractic, located in Anniston, Alabama, is dedicated to their patients. Car accidents, injuries, pain management, or even if you're just feeling the wear and tear of everyday life, Dr. Farr and Dr. Harrison can help. Call them today at 256-231-0417 or like them on Facebook. Walk-ins are welcome, most insurance accepted. Contact them today. That's 256-231-0417.
Ready for this one, Coach? It should be a fun one as the Blue Devils will kick it off. And that's Alejandro Corona who will be the kicker, and he will hit it high, end over end kick. And that is going to be fielded by the Green Wave out around the 20-yard line, back up just around the 30-yard line, and that is going to be about it. Bringing it back that time, it was number 3, Hunter Oglin, and a decent return, good field position, but good coverage downfield for the Blue Devils. In there to make that stop was Briggs Freeman.
They had excellent coverage. Gordo almost made a mistake on that. They had one of the upbacks backing up, and they ran into each other, feeling that. And He broke one of the cardinal sins. You never back up to catch it. You know, if it's over your head, you let the position behind you get it. It's easier to come up and get it than it is to go back.
Tanner Bailey operating out of the gun. Running back for the Green Wave is Rashawn Williams. Williams will line up on the right side this time. Twins set to the right. Single wide out is to the left for Bailey. Now motion. And Bailey's going to fake toss. He's going to drop back, try to set up the screen, and nothing doing there as Etowah all over that play, and they're going to blow it up for a loss. Big defensive stop that time for the Blue Devils by Trevor Gladden.
Excellent coverage on that. They faked the toss, sweep, and threw a screen back to the same side, and Etowah had it diagnosed from the beginning.
So it'll be second down and long now, 2nd and 12 for the Green Wave. They'll go trips right this time. Twins to the left, empty backfield set with Bailey out of the gun. Back at the Green Wave 26, going to fire it out in the flat, complete, and taken down immediately after making the catch was number 4, Isaiah Edwards, and once again up making the stop for Etowah is Trevor Gladden, and it looks like Edwards might have been a little gimpy there, but he looks to be okay. So, Coach, the defense looks awfully good thus far. That was just a gain of 3 back to the 29, brings up a 3rd down and 9 for the Green Wave.
Right, they're moving pretty quickly there. You know, that's what you like. They're getting to the ball extremely quick.
They'll keep 1 in the backfield this time. Will the Green Wave. That'll be Isaiah Edwards back alongside Bailey now, and we'll get motion out of the tight end, moving over to the left side. And Bailey's going to roll to his right, trying to buy some time. He's got a man out in the flat, throws it over near the Etowah sideline, and the officials will say incomplete. Led him too far out of bounds, Coach.
Excellent throw, excellent catch. He just kind of led him out of bounds.
Take a look at the replay. As it was a diving catch made there by the receiver. That's number 13 for the Green Wave, Chris Neal.
Yeah, I think he left the ground and he never got down. Never established a foot in bounds when he got it.
Now Neal will drop back in punt formation, and he will be kicking it. So I believe Trent Davis, very dangerous returner. High kick, no, make that number 1. Martavius Davis also is committed to play college football. That was going to roll down inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line. Martavius Davis committed to play at University of Louisiana. Nah, I'm told. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils.